So it suddenly dawned on me how dark this thing is. How dark the assassination of Charlie Kirk really is. The 22-year-old assassin knew that Charlie Kirk had a wife and two children, two very young children who don't know the world yet, who probably don't know what death is yet, who are going to realize after some time that their father has gone missing, and then later also that he is never coming back. And the assassin knows that Charlie Kirk is a very conservative Christian man who values family, who puts family first, God first, then family, then country. He's a patriot, but more importantly, he's also a father, a loyal father and servant of Christ. And the assassin knew all this. And he knew, right, that Charlie Kirk would be so unfulfilled in his role as a father, in his role as a husband, in his role as the leader of the household, of the family, and he would not have been able to fulfill his role as a father for his two young children and to nurture them into good human beings. His emphasis has always been on the societal problems in America, especially those in the black community, as having fatherless families, as missing fathers, absent fathers as the main cause of all these breakdowns and all these problems. And that is the thing the assassin wants to impose on Charlie Kirk forcefully and involuntarily, and in the most ridiculous, unscrupulous, and cruel way possible, at an event where Charlie Kirk was not spreading hate but encouraging dialogue, but bridging gaps, letting people talk, letting people speak, letting people debate their ideas at such an open event where you are free. You are free to go up and stand up and use the mic and let your voice be heard and debate and win him if you will. But no. The extreme radical left extremist called Tyler Robinson, and he's a fine boy. He's a fine boy. We are not here preaching hate or anything. He's a fine boy who grew up in otherwise healthy and conservative family. He was the most obedient of children, most diligent and brightest students, GPA of more than 4 and above 4. There's nothing wrong in his upbringing per se, as far as we know. Christian, Mormon family, conservative, father was a sheriff. Maybe some of the and Mothership even tells us they were mega supporters. I don't know how true that is. Maybe that's true, maybe that's not. I don't know, but for sure some relatives were not, because they were spreading hate on Donald Trump and Elon Musk and Charlie Kirk in particular just before the assassination. So don't make it seem like it was the mega movement or ideology that drove him to do such a thing, because the evidence shows otherwise. The evidence shows to the contrary of that. He was in Discord groups with other Antifa ideologues. He was very much into extreme leftist ideology. He wrote, in fact, leftist propaganda slogans on the bullets that he used on Charlie Kirk. Now, let's not be two-faced about this. Let's not be hypocritical about this. Let's not be dishonest about this. If he really was a mega supporter and he really was a right-wing extremist, we will call it out as it is. We will call our own camp as it is. The fact of the matter is he is not. The fact of the matter is he belongs to this camp. And why is it not right to call out that camp? Why is it not salient upon the left community to call out a portion of their own, a faction of their own? And in this case, why is it salient to even celebrate and glorify his death and to even ask for clemency for this guy? Now, I understand that he's a young 22-year-old chap with a bright future ahead of him if he did not commit the assassination. Sure, why wouldn't one look at him, look at his pictures, look at his achievements and say, let's give this boy a chance. Let's show some empathy. Let's show some compassion. No, let's go back to our first principles. Right? If it turned out to be any other way, you wouldn't be asking for this clemency. We should be fair. We should be fair and we should be equal, no matter who it was. That person deserves the highest level of punishment. That person deserves the higher level of reprisal, and in this case, the penalty of death, I think, is highly reasonable. So we should be fair. We should be fair. We should be objective. There's time for compassion and empathy. There's also time for firmness. There's also time to go back to first principles and to stick to our principles. And most importantly, there is a time to reflect, each one of us, on how we have been egging this on. And so I really call upon more harsh treatment, or at least investigation into the Discord community he was in. Those who instigated, acted on the attack, those who encouraged him to go ahead and take a life. Those who said, this is the right way to do things. And they should be investigated, and they should all be tried for being complicit in this act, for being accomplices, for being, right? So why are they less guilty or not guilty? No. I think they should all be guilty. The time has passed for us to sit silent and for us to know that there's big trouble brewing and not doing anything about it, right? And if there needs to be more draconian, suppressive, even measures meted out to solve this, to resolve this big chunky problem, then so be it, right? I'm not asking for taking away rights as a whole. I'm not talking about us not allowing people to speak. I'm talking about sieving out the most radical, extreme terroristic elements in any movement, in fact. Really putting them into high scrutiny and supervision, and if needed, incarceration, basically keep them out of the public space, because they are endangering the very freedom, liberty and free space that most of the others enjoy. So I don't care how many people are celebrating this. And as I said, it's their free expression, no matter how distasteful it is, as long as there is no direct incitement of violence, it belongs to free expression. Of course, it is distasteful, and of course, people who express sympathy and support for such an act, and that's another thing altogether. They are not just celebrating; they think that this kind of act is okay, and this kind of act should be encouraged, and that is a very, very different matter, right? And that kind of people, which I believe belongs to the very, very extreme fringe, they need to be investigated, and they need to be put behind bars. And for the people outside of America who are expressing such views, who are espousing such views, of course, they should be barred from entering the US. Because it is a completely obvious display of hatred, not just for Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk is just a person that represents something bigger. If you think it is okay to kill him, then you are telling me that it is okay to kill someone who believes in the Christian values and Christian faith and propagate such values and such faith. You're telling me it's okay to kill such a person. You're telling me it's okay to kill someone who questions any ideology, whether it be LGBTQ ideology, whether it be the trans ideology, whether it be abortion. You're telling me it's okay to just kill, right? And most importantly, you're telling me it's okay to kill someone who just wants to speak, who just wants people to have an open debate with him. If that is what you're telling me, you shouldn't be welcome, in fact, anywhere in the world. Anywhere, right? So America, any other country, has every right at their disposal, right, to impose such a restriction on individuals who espouse such beliefs. Simple. Simple, right? So I want the FBI to be investigating the Discord servers, the Discord community, which Tyler Robinson was in, and maybe even more. Free speech needs to be limited when it comes to the extent of terrorism, right? We cannot be encouraging terrorism. And by the way, right, it is not just terrorism, it is the ideology that is so sick, so evil, right? And right from the start, we actually already know about this, just that many of us have forgotten. Many of us have forgotten the ills of communism, Marxism, and socialism. Many of us have forgotten. It was plain, simple, staring at you in the face in the history books. But after years of peace, after years of the Cold War ending, you thought it is gone. You thought it is okay to open up free debate, free discussion, free dialogue, anything for free. You're free to think anything you want. Of course you're free. Of course you're free. But there is a line to be drawn when you're endangering other people's freedoms, when you're endangering other people's liberties, and when you're endangering the very foundation of liberty itself, then why are you living in a free society? Go and live the hell in North Korea, Cuba, Venezuela, or any other country that doesn't believe in freedom and democracy. Go and live in those countries that agree with you that killing someone because they dissent is correct. Why the fuck are you staying in a country that believes in free speech, free expression, free anything? And why do you get to enjoy the freedom to think terroristic thoughts and commit terroristic murders on others and go away scot-free, not believing in anything of the society you lived in, and continuing to promote this idea that you are right and they are wrong, that freedom is wrong, free speech is wrong, free debate is wrong, and the exact opposite is correct, because according to your sick, evil, vile, and violent ideology, that is what you're telling me. So, and let it be known, right, that there are countries that outlaw communism. Communism is not legal, right? I forgot. I think it is illegal in Poland. I think it is illegal in Czechoslovakia. I don't know, there may be more, right? But what's important is, this is a sick ideology. If we can outlaw Nazism, I don't see why Marxism should be given leeway. This is a sick, vile, violent ideology that has many permutations and variations and many variants to it. In each and every society, in fact, and in each and every culture, in fact. Islamic terrorism itself was rooted very much in leftist, Marxist, revolutionary terror ideology. The way many fundamentals think and behave, also very leftist and fascist. Fascism, by the way, a leftist ideology through and through. Nazism itself, National Socialism. What does that tell you? What does that tell you about whether it is on the left or on the right? Socialism is in the name, socialism. The government controls everything. The government controls all individuals and all enterprises, the media, everything. Books. Nationalism. Is nationalism right-wing? Nationalism, racism, feminism, all these things, it can be left, it can be right. It doesn't have a left-right bias. Anyone can be a nationalist, anyone can be a racist, anyone can be a feminist. Maybe you're a left-wing feminist. Then you believe that male and female are equal and males can go into female bathrooms. You can be a right-wing feminist and you believe that male and female are different. Males shouldn't be entering female spaces. Males shouldn't be competing in female sports. Males shouldn't be able to call themselves women and have all the privileges that women enjoy. Nationalism. France, very much left-leaning kind of nationalism. French language, French culture, but at the same time, very, very much revolutionistic leftism. But not to the extent of terrorism. Right? Nationalism can also be on the right. Poland, Hungary, Russia, maybe, China. Racism can be on the left, can be on the right. The Democrat Party was the racist party for the longest time. Was it right wing? Racism can of course also be on the right. White supremacists, extreme, white only KKK kind of ideology, anti-Jew hatred. So all these things don't have a left-right definition, right? Or rather correlation, right? It can be left, it can be right. They're neutral in a sense. So this guy, right, even though he was brought up in a, probably you can say conservative, maybe more right than left kind of Christian Mormon family, very, very obedient, but after he entered college 4 years ago he entered college, and something started to happen to his brain. Something started to happen to his thinking. And then going on to those Discord servers further pushed him to the brink of extremism, radicalism. It's a sad case. And I'm not saying we cannot empathize, sympathize, and feel sorry for this sad case, right? But if you feel sad for him, then you are also telling me that you agree with me. You agree with me that those sick ideology that influenced him to violence should be at least put to scrutiny, if not to a complete stop. In any free society, in any free liberal society that believes they want their people to live peacefully. That much can be said.